Yeah, hi everyone, welcome to Friday's episode of Just Me. So this week is not just me, we've got Franki. You might not have seen Franki's podcast yet, but if you have, pause this, jump over to the YouTube channel and watch hers and then watch this. So Franki, thanks for joining me again.
Thanks, Dan.
You recorded a podcast with us last week.
Yep.
And you know, you said, I've seen some of your posts on Facebook and you've been following the clips as we posted them out. And you said you'd had a bit of a shift with a kind of trauma and a bit of a purge, actually.
Yeah. So watching myself tell the story
Yeah.
was a perspective I'd never experienced before. So I actually had to stop watching the clips because it was a bit too much for me.
Okay.
So I took a break from Facebook for a couple of days, just kept my head out of it, because what I noticed was that it was affecting me emotionally and the trauma started to show itself.
Okay.
I went into, what do they call it, fawn,
Yeah.
where it's freeze mode, and
Yeah.
I stayed in that space for a week.
Wow.
So freeze mode it's kind of like a numb.
Yeah.
I went into numbing, and I was like, my brain wasn't functioning properly. I felt really clouded. I felt really a bit spaced out.
That was huge for you, because you came on and you talked about, which, it's a life-changing event, for you and your family. And, you really sort of represented, I suppose, lots of unspoken voices, people that hadn't necessarily spoken, and have been through the same stuff, and yeah, I know you said you had a bit of a shift. I saw you put a post up on Facebook. Is that before you came off? But how do you feel about it now, that whole kind of event and that whole series? Is there any difference in that, or?
I feel a bit more freedom within myself.
Yeah.
I don't feel so attached to that story. I feel
Okay.
like, because it's not a secret anymore. I've been holding that secret for so many years. And a lot of that is because people don't have the capacity to hear it, because it is such a massive story.
Yeah.
So I'd find myself, when I would be telling someone, this is back in the earlier days, that I'd have to comfort them. So I just stopped sharing.
Yeah. And I suppose, we kind of offered that on the podcast, just a space for you to come and tell your story. And in fact, even I remember when I was watching it, I watched it back. I've watched it about 4 times, just for kind of editing reasons, but I like to kind of just see, just kind of see how everything sits. And like, I was fucking struggling in that, like really struggling, because there were so many layers to it. And I said this, in some of the promo stuff, this was like, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it just dropped another level, and then it dropped another level, and it was just like, just kept on giving, and you told it so well, everything was in order, and and give me a second. Yeah, we're filming, mate. Thank you. This drives me mad. My fucking head goes, man. I'm like, does the whole world not know I'm fucking filming? Like, fucking, my head just goes, man. It goes.
Stop!
Fucking completely goes. And I was like cussing some guy last week in a boat. I was like, this motherfucker, man. And then, like, in my head, I'm like, this is like fucking part of my, I don't know, I'm just fucking nuts. In my head, I'm like, he's fucking, every Friday, man, this guy waits for me. He fucking waits for me he's like, that's the guy with the camera, let's fucking drive the boat. And he must have the loudest boat in Thailand. Of course, it's not about me. But yeah, and I was waiting for him to turn it around and fucking drive it past, you know. But anyway, he never did.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This fucking guy with a boat. The fucking guy with a boat. I swear to God. I swear to God.
It's the same guy.
It's the same fucking guy. I'm going to get him on. I don't know what I'm going to say, but yeah. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah, but yeah, and then there were the physical aspects to it as well. I started. Oh, that's right. The Saturday morning, I woke up with a massive migraine.
Right.
And I haven't had a migraine in years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was all due to just, I guess it would be just the trauma showing itself physically.
Yeah.
The past 2 days I've been sick physically as well.
Wow. So we work together, you know. So and we're doing that trauma training. And I don't know about you, and I'd love to say, oh yeah, my trauma's coming up, and they said that, and then part of me is like, no, I'm just fucked because I've been working loads, and I'm not traumatized. I'm just fucking pissed off and tired, and you know. But has it come up for you in the last sort of week? Have you, you know?
I think today had a bit to do with it as well, because we had the trauma training last night.
Yeah.
And there was actually a part in that trauma training where I refused to take part in.
Okay.
Where she wanted us to go back to a time where
I saw that.
we
I saw
were
you
dark.
sitting out. I saw you sitting out.
I had my eyes shut. I was prepared to do it, and then the minute she said go back to that dark place, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wasn't going to put myself in that position. And this morning I woke up feeling sick physically, and my head was going, and I just wasn't in a good headspace.
Okay. No, it's good, you know, self-preservation. I'm protecting myself. Actually, you know what? I've dealt with something. I'm trying to leave it somewhere, and I don't feel the need to go back there.
I don't want to revisit it.
No. How you feeling? So the show airs. It will air just after this one. Just after this one aired. So if you're watching this, again, stop what you're doing, go back, watch Franki's show, fucking get some tissues. You know.
I actually got a message the other day from one of my Facebook mates. Well, I don't know him personally, but he's a friend. He's in recovery, and he follows me on Facebook. And he messaged me yesterday, just saying that, you know, like, everyone has a story, but yours has brought tears to my eyes.
Wow.
And that just, yeah.
Yeah, I know you've had some impact, man. Like, and not just from back home, because you're from Australia, but like, I know people I know.
Yeah.
I've been messaging with you, messaging you, you know, and they follow me, and you know, that's really what we're about. It's like, this, you know, and the world doesn't seem so big now, you know, and we this stuff can be, you know, dare I say global. That sounds a bit grandiose, but really, you know, we're lucky on this little island. There's so many of us. You know, I don't really have to go outside the staff room to find a story.
Yeah.
You know, and I said to people, you know, when I was doing some of the promo stuff for this, like I'm not looking for you guys, you know, like, these are people that I work with, they're people that I walk past every day, and this, you know, and we're all just fucking just, you know, and I just asked the question, you know, tell me about your life, you know, and I know you watch Chris's. Chris is sadly no longer with us.
Yeah.
And then I remember the first time you said, because I hear it a lot. People say, "Oh, I've got a story." I get messages, you know, all the time, and I'm like, you know. And then you said to me, "Oh, you know, I went for a similar situation to Chris," and yeah, I just didn't necessarily pay attention to it at the time, and then kind of heard and just thought, okay. And then when we spoke, we did the voice recording first, and you know, there's been people that, my partner in particular, you know, they've got halfway through the voice recording and the podcast. I said, Dan, I have to turn it off. I can't watch it because it's a fucking tough watch, you know. And that's why I say, you know, if you're going to watch tonight, put the kids to bed. You know, maybe watch it on your own because, you know, it's not an easy watch. But
my girlfriend Jacinta commented on one of the posts, actually.
Yeah.
We grew up together. She knew my family.
Wow.
And she was in amongst it at the time because we were quite close growing up. And she actually commented that it was really hard for her to watch.
Yeah. I saw some people say that this is really hard to watch.
Yeah.
I saw a woman, she wrote on one of the comments, I never knew you went through all this.
Yeah, that's my daughter's auntie.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you really have just held this
yeah,
and just turned up every day
yeah.
and got on with it, you know, and yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's it from us really. I just, yeah, you know, it's been a real fucking privilege. You know, even the editing lady who does my editing said, what did she say? She said, really strong episode. Like, and she doesn't, I know she doesn't watch the whole episode. She just cuts it up as she needs to and adds the bits in. Like, she was like, I'm in, I'm watching it, you know, and she just does the editing, you know, so she doesn't necessarily have time. But she watched the whole episode, you know, and you know, she done a really good job on it. We've done some nice stuff in it, some nice tributes.
Yeah.
You know, thanks for sitting down with us. You know, and yeah, I wouldn't like to say you're reliving it. This is kind of some closure now on that doing that podcast and that chapter.
I feel like I'm releasing it.
Good.
I mean, it'll always be with me, of course,
Yeah.
because it's a part of my life. But I'm just releasing the attachment to it.
Yeah, lovely. No, thanks very much. Okay,
Thanks,
so yeah, that's really it from me this week. I wanted to bring Franki. You know, I knew that as soon as I'd done the podcast last week, I wanted to bring her into the Friday, and here she is. She's agreed to do it, and you know, I'm really grateful that she's agreed to do that. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you all next week. That's it. That's it. We kind of stand here now for a minute, so I can edit it properly because I'm shit editing.
I can sit in it and smile.
Just like statue. It's starting to rain. I'm only playing. That's it.